Hey, epic viewers! I've been gathering information the last 2 weeks, and I hope I will be able to shed some light on the Ancient Kingdom's origin and past. So, what do we know about the Ancient Kingdom? We know that it was a very advanced, powerful, and sophisticated civilization using knowledge to conquer the world. Before long ago, it was considered a myth and a legend, and its past is hidden from the world. From the few things we know, the Ancient Kingdom could have been the mother civilization of the One Piece world hundreds of years ago. So little info about the Ancient Kingdom we are given, but it gave us some hint what Oda's inspiration may be. I believe it was Atlantis. It was the first thing it came to my mind since I'm a Greek and shared some similarities with the Ancient Kingdom. We were told a lot about it when I was in high school. It is a very fascinating story, and I don't think there are many who are not familiar with it. We still don't know if it really exists or it was actually a myth, very much unlike the truth behind the Ancient Kingdom. We were given the impression that something similar happened in One Piece world, and that there are very few people who know the truth or even believe it. I'll try not to get into much detail, but the information I have to summarize is huge. However, I will leave links for those who want more details. The most information we have about Atlantis was given by the Greek philosopher Plato in 350 BC, also from the stories of Timaeus and Critias, and a little bit earlier from a famous Athenian statesman Solon. Atlantis, said to be a very advanced civilization that exists around 9500 BC, and that it had conquered a large part of the world, not with spear and sword, but with knowledge. It is said that Atlanteans were great navigators and could sail everywhere in the world using the star as a guide. We can assume that the Ancient Kingdom's people were also good navigators based on the location of the boundaries. There are many hidden boundaries in the hardest places a man can reach, on sky, underwater, and even on a moving island. In Egypt, archaeologists discovered frescoes dated way before Plato's time, describing an ancient and very advanced civilization who came from the sea. They respected them and were afraid of them. When Solon visited Egypt around 600 BC, he was told about Atlantis from the Egyptian priest. They claimed that the Athenians had forgotten their history due to great natural disaster, leaving their civilization to ruins. I read an article based on a book, and it was saying that the pyramids are actually a form of ancient geoengineering. However, they are still investigating if this is 100% true. Remember this word, I will bring it up later. There are many theories, far-fetched scenarios, made-up stories, and possibilities as to where Atlantis might have been, or how advanced their technology might was. I'll try to use the most truthful and relevant ones. The lost kingdom of Atlantis destroyed and disappeared into the depths of the sea. The most likely reason for the demise based on the evidence was a great natural disaster, such as an earthquake, volcanic eruption, or the fall of meteorite, or meteor shower. Plato refers to a great war between Athenians and Atlanteans, but almost all the records were destroyed and lost forever, except very few. Also, he wrote that Atlantis was not just an island, but an empire, and was located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, and was expanded as far as Egypt. Its size was Libya and Asia combined. In addition, the empire was split into many pieces, each one of them having a king of its own. Conflict was not allowed between them, but in the end they fell victims to mortal desires and sins. In his story, he may exaggerate a bit, or he created this story by getting influenced by a very advanced civilization of his time. That is why it's so difficult for archaeologists to locate Atlantis. However, you can see many similarities with what happened 800 to 900 years ago in One Piece. There is another interesting theory which I would like to mention, and there is even a book about this. However, as of now, it's more like a speculation because there isn't much evidence to support it. In 19th and 20th lived an inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, physicist, and futurist by the name Nikola Tesla. He's the main reason why we have Wi-Fi today. He said that the earth rings like a bell, and if you know how to use this sound, frequency or resonance, you will know how to convert it to an unlimited source of energy. Sorry, Mr. L, why the fuck you bring this guy up? Patience, my love. Soon you'll understand. In the early of 20th century, he started working on some kind of tower, which its purpose was to be a global wireless communication system. This tower would have been able to share information and provide free electricity throughout the world. However, he never completed it and led him to bankruptcy. Some rumors say that some powerful men of his time were against this project. Free electricity means less money, less control over humans. Many people are slaves of power and greed. Tesla worked hard in his life by trying to make life a bit easier for man, without racism and discrimination, even led him to bankruptcy. Some scientists call him the Prometheus of our time. Even history almost buried him. Many say that the One Piece world is a mirror to our own, and it seems that this is true. The world is controlled by few who wanted discrimination, war, separation, and slavery. In comparison with the Ancient Kingdom, who possibly wanted a world without these moral sins. But how can you say that? Well, if you take into consideration the location the poneglyphs are and where they are entrusted, you can assume that these different species were allies or friends to Ancient Kingdom. Also, we learn about Joy Boy, who was probably a very important person of Ancient Kingdom, who built the Noah for the fishermen, which would enable them to be carried to the surface. However, he wrote an apology letter to the mermaid princes of that time for not being able to fulfill their promise. I won't get into much detail about this, there are many theories out there concerning this matter. Lastly, we can assume by his action that he was a good and just man without the feeling of superiority towards different races and species. Another meaning and mirror of our world. You can say that Tesla and Joy Boy had similar ideas. Now, the real reason I brought up Tesla is because there are theories based on actual evidence that some ancient civilization had found a way to use this energy. Some of these civilizations were the Anunnaki, Egyptians, and the Atlanteans. There is a theory based on a mural that Atlanteans at some time became cocky about their advanced technology, leading to their demise. Dolores Cannon discussed this in one of her books. The theory goes, they had discovered a way to control this energy by creating a high energy generator, but because they didn't actually learn how to use it, it led to some catastrophic events. Tesla created something similar for military purposes and we call it Death Ray. However, Tesla claimed that it works a bit differently. He also claimed that any nation using it could destroy anything approaching within 200 miles and could provide a wall of power. I suggest googling Nikola Tesla or Death Ray for more info. Supposedly, this is the most important part of the invention. Imagine it, at the size of the LED picture, what it could do. In a Disney movie called Atlantis The Lost Empire, the Atlanteans almost destroyed by the misuse of their advanced technology. The king himself tells Milo that Atlantis almost destroyed by his arrogance because he tried to alter the energy into a weapon. Both stories are very similar and also have very similar meaning. As a fan of One Piece, there is no way you haven't noticed how much Oda influenced by Disney movies such as Little Mermaid and Aladdin, so I think it's also very possible for him to get influenced by such interesting and intriguing stories such as Atlantis, The Lost Empire. I will break it up again a bit later. So, what are the archaeologists believe the closest place Atlantis could exist, based on the information Plato gave? Is the Greek island Santorini? Archaeologists discovered a city under the rocks in late 60s. They quickly established that there lived one of the most advanced and sophisticated civilizations in the ancient world and was destroyed by one of the worst natural disasters ever recorded in history. They were the minerals from the nearby island Crete, and the name of the island at that time was Thera. On this island there is an active volcano which exploded in 1630 BC, leading them to their demise. The Mycenaeans who lived in ancient Greece exploited this chance to conquer the territory, controlling all trade routes. The Minoans had no walls because their walls were their fleet. However, due to the eruption of the volcano, it was destroyed by a huge ash tsunami, along with their cities and their rich civilization. Some locals claim that they have found 6 species on the mountains. I suggest watching a documentary. Santorini, before the explosion, had a different landscape and a big part of the island sank under the sea. The part which sank was the hypothetical main city. I believe something similar must have happened to One Piece universe due to very bizarre structure of the red line. Some theories suggest that they are man-made. Although the possibility exists, I don't agree with it. I believe that the world wasn't just one big ocean with many islands in it. Instead, I believe there exists one big continent with small islands around it, and due to some great disaster, a big portion of it sank underwater, creating the red line. If you think about it carefully, how the world government was able to topple over the ancient kingdom who was so ahead of its time? Even if there were 20 kingdoms, still I can find it very possible. For example, if you have machine guns and the others have bows, there is almost no chance for them to win, no matter how many they are. We should consider this possibility. Look what the Spanish did to the native tribes of America. Something really big should have happened that brought the ancient kingdom to its knees. I will analyze the possibilities later on. When I compared the ancient Thera map with the One Piece map, I was astonished. Look at the possibilities of how Thera used to be before the eruption. Or watch this short video. Now look the One Piece map. You can only notice that both of them look like a ring or circle. I think something similar with the video that was shown to you happened in One Piece world. I believe inside the red line was land that sank underwater due to some catastrophic event. The islands in it and the red line are actually what remains of that land. Now observe closely the cliffs of Santorini Island and observe the red line and try to compare each other. In addition, in some places the earth even looked a bit reddish. Also, if you look at Santorini from above, it looks like the inside was cut with a knife, but in reality that was done by a very strong seismic activity, causing the ground to submerge. This is how the earth looks like when it cracks by an earthquake. Look again how similar they are. The Santorini image also backs up what Plato said, that Atlantis has circular shape. But why specifically the center of One Piece world sank underwater and not somewhere else? I can think of 2 reasons. Firstly, like it was shown on the video, the big catastrophic event took place in the center of the continent, destroying everything in a big radius around it. Secondly, because Oda might have taken inspiration from the Ring of Fire. It's a place where a large number of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occur. Special thanks to Hawkeye for giving me permission to use this info. So, I won't expand. You can check his theory about the Ring of Fire on his channel. He expands very well. I'll leave a link in the description.